Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. And yep, I'm a little late this morning. We came in from Kentucky. So we're thanking God for traveling mercy as we journeyed back from seeing the grandbaby. Boy, love that little boy. So we're just thanking God for traveling mercy to and from. And all those that are on the road today, we praying for traveling mercy for you as well. As you all come in, we just want to keep those lifted up. This is October. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we have on our pink today at Allen Temple. And we just want to keep those lifted up in prayer that are currently battling breast cancer or any kind of cancer, actually. And keep those that are lifted up that are going through treatment for all the cancers that are out there. Last week, I spoke for the Minority Health, Shenango Valley Minority Health, and we talked about breast cancer awareness. And one of the things that I wanted to stress is that although we uplifted and highlighted during the month of October, people are suffering and being diagnosed and having to get treatment and dying all year long. So not just during the month of October. So I don't want us to forget all of those. I know all the months have some kind of color that coincide with awareness of cancers. Or cancers is a terrible thing to have. And so all of those that are suffering from any form of cancer, including breast cancer, this month, we are lifting you up in prayer. As you go through, we pray for your fight. We pray for you to stay strong. I see everybody coming in this morning. Hello. And today, like I said, I'm just lifting those up that are in prayer. I'm lifting up Alexis' mother-in-law and AJ's mom, Luce, my girl. She is in the hospital. She is on the mend. We were lifting her up in prayer a couple weeks ago because her sister was gravely ill. And she did lose her sister. So we're praying for her family. And as AJ travels back and forth, we're thanking God for AJ's sister, Sierra, that was on the scene when Luce took ill and make sure she got the care that she needed. So we're thanking God for her and her medical awareness and all of those that are in the hospital. My work daughter, Kristen Riley, anybody that knows her struggle knows her struggle with getting pregnant, and so she had the baby is well, and we're just thanking God for keeping her safe. Even though she had a little bit of challenges, she is safe. We did hear from her, and she is doing well. So I want to hop in this message because I hopped on here late, but let me tell you, I'm going to be off script for probably most of it. And so straight out the gate, I'm telling y'all, this message is for grown folks. So if you can't handle the truth, go ahead, log off right now and try again later when you think you're grown. But we're going to talk about some real stuff and some real issues today. So the title that I gave this message that God gave to me is, are you the victim or the villain in someone's story? Are you the victim or the villain in someone's story? Now, there are many words in this world that can invoke feelings to rise up and just take over. And the words victim and villain are two of those words. Now, the word victim is a person who has been hurt or taken advantage of, which most of us try to avoid. Oh, but the word villain is defined as one that inflicts harm and creates ruin by their actions. Now, I know that none of you on here will easily admit that you've been the villain in somebody's story. But I bet you, you have. The villain is usually, like when you see villains in movies and these shows, they're usually evil and wicked. Their character is usually evil and wicked, and they enact evil actions and harm others. So I know that most of you will be appalled to know that some people have actually considered you the villain in their story. They may have been too afraid to tell you. They may have been scared that you would try to inflict more harm on them, or you would try to pay them back. But I bet you that there are some people, if they would be honest, they would tell you, yep, you've been the villain in my story. And, you know, at some point or another, all of us feel like the victim in the hands of other people. Maybe not the victim that crawl up in a corner, ball up in a corner and just quit living. But people have said stuff about you that they know wasn't true. And even if the stuff that they said about you was true, you trusted them with your truth. And you trusted them to keep their truth. And so you went out and spilled their truth. So they were the victim at your hands. If they wanted everybody to know what they were telling you in confidence, they would have blasted it on social media. They would have told other people. They wouldn't have just told you. They wouldn't have felt safe with you just to tell you. So they have been the victim. And guess what? If they were the victim, you were the villain that hurt them. So I don't want you to think of villain as an evil character walking around like a wicked witch, because really, if some of us look in the mirror and had a truth mirror, we would probably look like wicked witches and warlocks and whatever else that inflict harm on people. I told y'all at the beginning, this was for grown folks. But you know, it's funny that no one ever talks about playing the villain in other people's lives. I don't ever want to think that I've hurt somebody on purpose or on an accident. But if I hurt you on purpose, that's bad. And that makes me a villain. That makes me a villain in somebody's story. And I don't ever want to be a person that just goes around inflicting pain and trying to ruin somebody. Do you understand that when you create havoc in a person's life, whether you're lying on them, and if you're lying on them, you got an issue. You got more issue than being a villain. If you're a liar and you know you lying and the words come out your mouth and you know the words that you're saying are a lie, you got more problems. And villain is just something, is a light word for you. Because you got problems if you lie on purpose to try to hurt somebody. Because you're going to be found out. Especially if you lie on me. Because I'm no longer sitting back and saying, oh, you know what? I ain't studying them. I don't care what they say. I know it's a lie. I'm coming to see you. And if somebody brings that lie to me, we're coming to see you. And I want you to say in my face what you said I said. You so tough to say it when I'm not there. Say what you said. So people are people are struggling every day just to get up out of bed, to put 2 feet on the floor, to look straight ahead and to get dressed and get out of their house. So later, for you villains, later for you people that are trying to hurt and create havoc and ruin other people's lives because yours is ruined. Nobody has time for your lies and your deception trying to hurt me. You might be trying to hurt me to get back at somebody that's close to me. You might be mad at me because something good happened to me that God let happen because I have his favor. You mad. So here you going to be. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Accountability. You going to get mad at me because God blessed me instead of going to talk to him and see if you can get one of them blessings. Where they do that at? And I'm not even, and mind you, everybody on here, I'm talking to grown people. But you know what I found out? That old messy folk were young messy folk. I don't believe that you wait till you get up in age to become messy. I think by the time you get up in age, you have already perfected the art of being messy because you was messy when you was young. You was messy in high school. You was messy in college. You messy. You messy in the PTA. You messy on whatever board you on. You messy on whatever church you go to. You messy. So you didn't just get old and get messy. You was young and was messy. Hey, mama. That's right. I know I'm telling the truth. Because for those people that I remember, and then I still see them and I'm like, wow, you still being messy. You still lying on people. So here's the thing. I heard somebody say this. If everybody that you deal with say the same thing about you, say the same thing about how you talk to them, say the same thing about your delivery, the problem ain't how they take it. The problem is your mouth. And you're going to have to get your mouth straight before somebody gets your mouth straight for you. And I don't mean that to be like cause, inflict pain on your, to shut your mouth. But I mean, sometimes that's what it takes to pop you in your mouth. I'm not advocating being popped in the mouth. What I'm saying is, if everywhere you go, you create havoc. If everywhere you go, as soon as people see you, their whole body language changes. But the problem is the people that are messy and liars, and the people I'm talking about, the villains, not the characters in the play. I'm talking about the people in real life, the people that are in your life. Those villains, they don't even know they're villains because they're so busy causing damage that they don't have time to stop. Because if they ever looked in the mirror and they really looked at themselves, they would know. They would know. So just hearing the words accusing you of being a villain makes you it should make you want to look inward to see if what people are saying is true. But you already know what you already know. So it doesn't feel good or sound good when somebody flips the script, because you're not the victim of everybody else in the world. You the villain to all these people. And I don't want to play the villain. So it doesn't sound good when the script is flipped on you, because when you're the victim, that kind of evokes sympathy from people, especially when people know that the villain, they know how the villain is. But I'm telling y'all villains, I'm telling you right now, nobody is sitting around saying, you know what? That's just how they are. That's just how they talk. That's just how they communicate. That's baloney. That's a bunch of baloney. Because that's not just how you are. Because you can change. Let me tell you, at work the other day, I had a coworker. I came into the room to give a break, and I had a coworker tell me. Now, she didn't have to tell me this, but this is how sometimes when you talk too much, you keep talking and you're going to tell on yourself. She said, I've already apologized to everybody in advance for what I might say, and it's not that I mean it. It's just sometimes how the words come out. I said, that's premeditated, and that's inappropriate, and we're not doing that today. Well, I said, we're not doing that today because we're grown. And I said, premeditated murder gets you more time than if you just randomly shoot somebody. I said, so you're telling me that you woke up and you fix in your heart and in your mind for words to come out your mouth that are going to be, that going to hurt somebody's feelings. Miss me with that, miss. And I meant that. If it meant, come on out the room, sis, and go somewhere else and let somebody else in here. And then you would say that. We work, I'm not even going to get into that part. Y'all know where I work at. Sometimes being the victim makes you the hero at times, because some victims don't retaliate at the people that hurt them. I'm a retaliator. Let me say that. And raise your hand. I'm a retaliator because I'm too old. I might have been a victim years ago. I might have been a pushover years ago. But life has taught me that sometimes you got to give people what they want. So if they're sitting for me, here I come. So I'm a retaliator. And I don't mean I'm not going to retaliate with violence, but I'm going to see you and I'm going to expose you and I'm going to call you out and I'm going to make people see you for who you really are. And then I'm going to walk away, because I told y'all my walk away game is strong. And sometimes being the victim gives you the upper hand. Now, this one is twofold. It gives you the upper hand if you truly are a victim and you didn't do what these people are saying, or you didn't deserve being victimized. That's not the same as playing the victim role. Because we all know people that can play the victim role. We all know people that love to be the victim. They don't know why everybody picks on them. That you do. When you're playing the victim, you do know why everybody is doing that. Probably because everybody's not doing that. People, I'm amazed that people think more highly of themselves than they should. People think people are worried about them or thinking about them in the course of a day. Can I tell you? Can I bust your bubble? No, they're not. No one is thinking about you in the course of a day. You know why? Because we're thinking about children and school clothes and feeding kids and keeping a roof over their head and keeping my car paid and finding money to put gas in my car. Why on earth, with all of that in my head, would you come into my head? You answer that for me. So for people, and the people I see on here, I know, I'm not talking about y'all, I'm talking about other people. For people that think that, oh, they always worried about me. No, we're not. Can I speak for those people? No, they're not. Nobody's worried about you. Nobody really even cares about you. Quiet as it kept. Nobody cares about you because they got their own stuff that they have to care about. So in the grand scheme of things, you way back here in the back of the line where they're going to keep you. Now, don't get me wrong. Many of us have been victimized by people we know, by people we don't know, but they seem to have an issue with us because of God's favor on us, or just by mean, hateful, mean-spirited people. We've been victimized. You know those people. You work with those people. You share the same bloodline with those people. You go to church with those people. You're on boards with those people. There are people that are just mean and hateful and nasty for whatever reason. And here's the thing. It's not my job to figure out why you mean, hateful, and nasty. Every day God sends that he blesses you to get up another day and see another day. It's not my job to figure that out. I don't care. You need to figure it out. But by the same token, we have also been the villain to people we know. You know, the people that you sit in the break room with, or the people that you sit in the choir stand with, and you take what they said out of context and you spread it to do harm. And so you know somebody is up to no good when they say, listen, this ain't something I said, this is something I heard. Well, keep that to yourself. Because when you start like this, I don't mean to be rude. You most certainly finna be rude. I don't mean for this to sound bad. You most certainly getting ready to say something that sounds bad. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't have to start your sentence off with, I don't mean to be rude. Yes, you do, but come on. Just know if you come to me and say, I don't mean this to sound rude. Yes, you do, but come on, finish saying it. And if you can still say it after I call you out like that, come on, say it. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but yes, you do, and come on. I hear this at the church, at meetings, or I hope I'm not out of order. Yes, you are when you started by that. Yes, you are out of order. Because if you weren't out of order, you wouldn't have to start like that. If what you had to say, God gave you, or it was something that you had to get off, that you needed to say to the people, you wouldn't say, I hope I'm not out of order. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, and you knew you were. But come on. We also been the victim. We've been the villain to people that we don't know, but we heard about them. Now, this is for the jealous folks on here. And I know none of y'all going to raise your hand because none of y'all on here are jealous of anybody. Because I don't know why you would be. Would you care if somebody got a new car? That means somebody got a new car payment. Would you care? Would you care if somebody got a new house? That means somebody got a mortgage. When y'all get mad at people for things, when y'all get mad at people for things that they have in their life, That's probably some of the dumbest stuff. That's some of the dumbest energy you can waste. Because how does you getting a new house or a new car make me look bad or affect me? It shouldn't. I'm happy for you. Because if I watch you struggle and you got it done, then that gives me hope that in my struggle, at the end of my struggle, maybe I'll be able to see the fruits of my labor. But whether I don't, you getting a new car doesn't affect me one way or another, because that's your car and your business and your car payment. Y'all act like people that went and bought a new car plop down $50,000, $60,000, $7,000 on the desk at the dealership. No, ma'am. No, sir. They plopping down $500 or $600, $700 a month at the bank to pay for it. But even if they had that kind of money, what does that have to do with you? They weren't going to give it to you. So, and then you've been the villain. And the reason why I said that is about people that we don't know, but stuff we heard about. Y'all, okay, and I've done this before. I have not liked somebody. Now, this was when I was younger. I have not liked somebody because somebody that was my friend didn't like them. So if they don't like them and I like them, I'm not able, I don't have the maturity to be able to like them and like them, even though they don't like them. Let me say that again. I have been guilty of not liking someone because of something that one of my friends said about them. Not that I heard, not that I saw, not that it affected me, not that they did anything to me, but because he said it and I value his opinion, or she said it and that's my girl, I can't like them. And then you mess around and in a meeting with them, or you mess around and get in some kind of organization where they're in with you, and you go, wow, what they said was not even, that ain't true. She's not, he's not. And then you feel bad. I'm telling you, I've been guilty of that. Don't be like me. Don't hate on people that you don't even know, that have done nothing to you, but because somebody else hated them and you like them, you can't. That's grade school. I ain't even saying that's junior high. That's grade school, when we first learn how to get a friend. So I have been the villain. I have said stuff about people that I didn't even know. And y'all's pastor is good for calling me out. He said, how you know that? Well, how you know they telling the truth? And I didn't. And I had to eat my words. I didn't know. And then some of us have been the villain in people's lives just because we woke up on the wrong side of bed. Now, that's a phrase, and I'm on script for real. That's a phrase that I don't really understand after 3 years of COVID, after losing millions of people, after suffering from job loss and the economy, that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. The fact that you woke up, whether it was the wrong side of the bed, whether it was the middle of the bed, whether you had to sleep at the bottom of the bed, the fact that you woke up, the fact that you have a bed to wake up in. There are people that don't have beds. There are kids that are literally sleeping on mattresses on the floor in our country, not overseas, in our country, in the poor states in our country. And we woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so we're going to make everybody else pay because buy. Don't come to work with that. Don't come to church with that. Don't come to these meetings with that. Don't come to me with that. Don't come to the hospital to get your test and you mad at the world. We didn't do anything to you. We're here to help you. We want to make you feel better. We want to get to the bottom of it. So if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, go back to sleep and get on the other side of the bed and try it again. But the fact that God woke you up, the fact that you had a bed to wake up in, that should be enough. That should be enough. So, I'm going to get off. I'm telling you, think about this. Are you the victim or are you the villain in somebody's story? And it's sad to say, I've been both. I've been the victim and I have been the villain in somebody's story. And it don't feel good. Either way, it doesn't feel good. But when you're the victim, somebody's doing something to you that you didn't deserve. When you're the villain, you're doing something to somebody else that they didn't deserve. So you choose which road you want to go. And if you are the victim, figure out why and get to the bottom of that. Don't let nobody victimize you. Don't let nobody hurt you or talk crazy to you. And you don't have to fight and cuss and holler to get somebody straight. You can get people together just talking to them like I'm talking to you. But if you call them out on their stuff, people don't like to be called out. They don't like the spotlight on them. They don't. They like to shine the spotlight. They don't want the spotlight on them. Because somebody around you, when you get them together, going to say, oh, they're not tough as they thought. Because they told me if somebody comes in their face, they're going to do this, that. But they're just sitting there not saying nothing. You got to call people out. And you don't have to yell and holler and scream and cuss to get people together. Just get them together. Don't text them. Don't email them. Get them together. Face to face. Because we grown. Everybody out here grown. And grown folks can agree to disagree. And we should be able to go in the room and say, listen, you told that lie. Don't lie and say you didn't. Own it. And then leave me alone. Own your lie. Own your shift. Own it. And then change. Change. At least when you dealing with me, change. If you want to still be up, but when you dealing with me, change. Because every time we're going to have this conversation. So, all right. I'm going to get off here. Thank you all for listening. I apologize for hopping on here late. But remember, we're pinking out the pews here at Allen Temple. Remember, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But listen, November 1st, don't forget about those suffering from breast cancer. Don't forget about those suffering from any form of cancer. Just because it's just November 1, we don't have to put breast cancer to the back. Thank you, Faye. We don't have to put breast cancer to the back. Listen, everybody that's struggling, it might not be you, it might be somebody in your family. Just keep them lifted up. Keep them lifted up. We don't know what they're going through. And even if we've been down that trail, our journey is not the same as somebody else's journey. So also, let me tell you this before we hop off. Next Saturday from 11 to 1:30 here at Allen Temple, it's the Brothers program that they're having. We have a dynamic speaker, a black male therapist from Cincinnati is going to come and just talk to the brothers. And we lifting as we climb. It is free of charge. And there will be food. So all of you that are local out here, please tell your husbands, your sons, your nephews, we want to fill this place up. Mental health is real, and we want to address our men. And there will be no women. So I just want y'all to know, it's only for men. It's free, there's food, and it's only for men. So men, you don't have to worry about us being there running our mouths or none of that stuff like that. All right, listen, if you think this message will help anybody, whether they're the victim or the villain or both, please share it, and I will see you next week.